Hi guys, welcome back to TomTalks. It's been a while, but we are reviewing a film today, and that film is Barbie. Which is why I've got these on, because I'm wearing this shirt today, and my pink shirt is in the wash. Had it on the day, I promise. This, of course, is a two-parter, because I will be releasing my Oppenheimer video as well. I watched both on the same day, quite a few weeks ago actually now. I've only just got around to it because I've been busy, what can I say? But Barbie, the highly anticipated film, now the biggest film of the year, commercially. Critically, pretty well received, although it's got 7.3 on IMDb, which anything below a 7.5 on IMDb for me means people either enjoy it but overall aren't big on it, or downward from there. But also this film is controversial to certain people, not to me personally. I'll explain a bit why. But yeah, the film's good. It's very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it more than I expected to. I went into the film thinking, I'll probably have fun with this. I expected to enjoy it at least, but I actually thought it was really good. It would surprise me how good it was, to be quite honest. I kind of just saw it for the meme. Like, I wanted to see Oppenheimer. That's a film I was like, okay, Christopher Nolan, he delivers, etc. And Barbie's got good actors in it, though, to be fair. Margot Robbie as the main character. She's a good actor. She does what she needs to do here, and she does it well, to be honest. She's the standard Barbie. And she performs that role well. She acts it well, and her character development throughout the film is very good. I'm not really going to go into spoilers here. The plot of the film isn't exactly the main point of it per se, but I won't spoil it too much. But Margot Robbie's very good here, as I expect. She's a good actor. Ryan Gosling as well. He's good here as too. As Ken, he has very good character development as well. I think that's what I like the most. The character development here in this film is very good. Both are main stars. To be honest, all the main stars in this, America Ferrera, her character is great. Her character development is great. Ariana Stell's Green, her character, every main character's character development is just good. Like, they start off in a place and they get to a place. But as everyone always says, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And the journeys these characters go on in this film are really good. And they flow well, they feel earned, they feel deserved. So by the end, the characters are in a different place. But how they got there has been done great. So when they get to that place, you're happy, you're satisfied, you feel good. And I think that's what a good film does. It gets the character from the start to the end. But the journey there is what has you hooked. And it's what makes you want to come back to the film again. Now, the supporting cast, they're here to do good too. Whether it's Emma Mackey, Nkuti Gatwa, Will Ferrell. There is a lot of actors from Sex Education in this, which was a bit... It takes you out of the film slightly, but not too much. There's loads of people in this. Dua Lipa, John Cena. I could be here all day with the supporting cast. Heather Mirren, the narrator. I could be here all day talking about the supporting cast. Everyone is here. Michael Cera as well as Alan. I think he deserves a shout out. But the supporting cast do what they're supposed to do. They bring themselves to the film. They add to the film. They fill the roles well. No complaints there. Will Ferrell's character, I'm not completely in love with, but he fills the role for me, personally. The music of the film, I'm not going into too much detail. I will probably do a review of the soundtrack, but the music is used pretty well. There's one point where I thought, okay, maybe this song could have been used in this scene instead of this scene, but overall, the music is used well. And if you've heard the soundtrack, you like the soundtrack, you'll be pleasantly happy with how it's used. And it's not like some films where the soundtrack is used well, but you go and listen to it and you're like, eh. But I'll get more into the music in a review of the soundtrack itself. This film is hilarious. Like, it's really funny. Like, I was laughing from start to finish. Whether the first scene, which pays homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey, the crude humour jokes, the jokes about sort of capitalism and feminism, patriarchy, corporatism. I think they land very well. And I think Greta Gerwig has done a very good job here. She's directed the film very well because it flows well. It's a long film, but it doesn't feel long. You're constantly engrossed in the film. So I think she's done a good job there. And as I said, the film's hilarious. Like, mate, I'll have to see what I feel at a second viewing. But the first viewing, I was laughing throughout. It was hilarious. And at the end of the day, the film is a comedy, but the humour was very on point. As a comedy, gets the chef's kiss. But the messaging of the film is what I need to talk about. So beforehand, I'd heard people say, oh, this is too woke, or, oh, it's a bit on the nose with things. And, you know, there was other people like Ben Shapiro who would say how this film is terrible and whatever. So automatically I went to this film being like, oh, okay. I feel like I might like it more than some people do because of my political views and my beliefs and my morale system. But sometimes it can be done in a way that's not enjoyable. So, for example, I like the environment, I like the planet. I wish people would do more to save the planet. But the Doctor Who episode Orphan 55, which talks about that theme, is a very bad episode of Doctor Who. Good themes, good ideas, executed very poorly, very ham-fisted, not very good. Barbie tackles Barbie's place in the world and whether she's good or bad for women, tackles feminism, sort of the real world of women and how Barbie's had an impact, how Barbie's not had an impact, tackles patriarchy and the damaging effects of it to everyone, not just women, men as well. A bit of capitalism and corporatism and how a woman doll was used not to the benefit of women necessarily, but to profit off women and not make life better for women and not to empower women, but because it was profitable. And how said company didn't really do what they did to make women feel better and didn't implement that into their own structure. And there's also a big speech where America Ferreri's character basically lays it out on the line and like, this is what women have to deal with. I hate it. This is why I feel the way I do. Yeah. And there's a lot of contrast between how women are portrayed in Barbie Land, how women are portrayed in the real world, how men are portrayed in Barbie Land, how men are portrayed in the real world, and when those two worlds collide, how it changes the two worlds. There's a lot going on here thematically. And personally, I think it does it very well. I think it sets out the damaging effect of patriarchy to men and women, as I said. I think its feminist themes are well done. They're obvious in places, but that's not a bad thing for me, and I don't think it affects the film. The capitalism corporate stuff, I think, is done decently. It's, it's not too damaging to these companies. It's not going to be. They do have to sign off on the film after all, but it pokes fun at them in a very on the surface sense, which is humorous, gets the point across, and it hopefully will open some people's minds, because that's what the best films do, and I think this film will. I think for some people it will be a reflection on how they've had to deal with things. For some people it will be a reflection of how people around them have had to deal with things. For some, it will be obvious. For some, it, as I said, will open their minds. And I think Barbie does a good job in expressing its themes in an interesting, thematically correct, and empowering way. Is it the most mind-blowing, out there thing on these topics? Probably not, no. But it does it in an effective and concise way that I hope will open some people up who need to be opened up to these things. I've never watched a Greta Gerwig film before. Apparently she's done this kind of thing. She has big thematic themes in her other films, like Little Women, for example, but I think she did a very good job here. And is the film woke? Yeah. But that's not necessarily a problem now, is it? And if you think it's a problem, that's your problem then, isn't it? But overall, I think this is a very good film. I enjoyed it very much. The performances were great. The plot did its job. The themes were well explored. It was hilarious. Complaints? I guess, as I said, the plot was a tad bit basic. It's not the most out there film. It got me slightly in the feels at points. Not personally, but Barbie's journey and that Billie Eilish song. I do like that song. That's a very in the feels song, because while it's directly about Barbie and women in general, I think it's a song that you can relate to in your own way. But I will talk about that more in the soundtrack. But I think this was a very good film, and it was a lot better than I expected it to be. And I very much look forward to watching it again at some point. Overall, I give the film an 8.5. Still in cinemas, still on quite a bit from what I've seen, so go watch it if you haven't watched it already. You probably have. It is the biggest film of the year so far, but if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch it again if you want to. I don't tend to watch films more than once in the cinema. Maybe I will. Not necessarily this one, but some at some point. But that's my thoughts on Barbie. let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, this has been another TomTalks.